Hey, it's Dr. John Terry, President of the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame, CEO of the International Martial Arts Council of America. I am so honored and excited to have in the room with me at this moment, Master Rodrigo Antunes. Now, he is a crowd favorite at our international training camp, and I believe this is the third time you're going to be coming back to teach at our camp. And every time you come, our students get excited, our instructors get excited. Everybody wants to be in the room when Rodrigo Antunes is teaching. Now, for those of you that don't know this incredible individual, he is got a lineage in history that is incredible. He's trained with Gokor Chivekian. In fact, he's one of Gokor's black belts. He's had an opportunity to compete with the UFC in submission grappling. He has been a world champion in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you name it in the industry, this man has trained with them. And in fact, he's gone on to train several world champions himself. But enough about me talking about the man. Let me let the man talk about the man. Rodrigo Antunes, I am so glad that you're coming back to be with us next week. I can't believe we are just a week away from this event when we're recording this. July 20, 21, 22. We're in Houston, Texas at the Marriott Westchase. You're going to be one of our headliners on Friday that will be teaching at our camp, and so excited to have you doing an extended session again. For those that don't know you, tell them your story.
Dr. Terry, it's a great honor to be part of this, the Martial Arts Hall of Fame Association. And it's a great group, a great crowd. I love to be there. I kind of, every year bag it to come again. I know it's funny, but it's such a great time, with good people and great environment, a great organization. And, I'm very, proud of what you do for the martial arts. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I started martial arts very young age. At 4 years old, I started with judo. In Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I was 8 years old. I grew up in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That's where I learned for my master's there. I grew up like following all the way before UFC, right? So that was back in the 80s when I started training. And since then, I moved to the United States about 12 years ago and, established my schools here, my association here, and I'm teaching since then. I started competing at a very young age, at 11, 12 years old in Jiu-Jitsu, never stopped. Turning 47 next week, and I still compete. I still have my competitions going on, the Master Worlds, and have some super fights coming up. Based on titles, the titles are just a consequence of the training, but I've been, world champion 3 times in different organizations, 2 Pan-American champions, a gi and no gi, ABI, Metamoris, UFC, submission grappling. So it's a bunch of events, but I still active. I still love it. I love it what I do. I still love the balance of competing and teaching at the same time. It's just amazing. I feel great about it.
I love something that you just said. You said that winning a championship comes as a result of good training. And so many people get into the martial arts and they want to be the man or the woman. They want to be the idol that people look up to, but they don't realize it is that unspectacular preparation and that time when nobody's watching, when you're putting in the hours on the mat, honing your skill, that gives you the opportunity to have a spectacular performance when the lights are on, people are watching, and there's a competition to be won. And I think many people underestimate the journey that you've gone to get to where you are today. Would you say that it's true that the training really has brought you to the point you are?
Oh, definitely. I'm a white belt. I have a white belt mentality. I'm always training, and you all have to be trying different things. That's what happened to me. I started with judo, then jiu-jitsu, then sambo, then wrestling, then submission grappling, all different martial arts, to build up something, very special. And, a training session is a lab that we're going to win or lose. Most of the times in the lab, you lose. You're trying, you're taking risks. It's a constant learning. So tomorrow I'm going to Montana to learn for someone else, even mobility, jiu-jitsu. Every time a student comes in with a technique, hey man, can you show me how you did that? And I never saw it that way. Maybe I saw the technique, but not that way. It's a constant learning, right? And it's a commitment as well. It's a discipline. It's not like I have a camp. Okay, I'm going to train for a month for a competition. No, I've been training for the competition for 40 years now. I just shift, the change of the routine for one, special set of rules to another set of rules, right? If I'm training for a super fight, it's about 10-minute match with it's a system that I have to follow. If I go for a competition, then I have 7 matches, or 5 minutes is a different, set of, or match. And so if a submission only, or there's a point system, I just fine tuning the through the rule set. But I train every single day, Saturday and Sunday. Oh, but you train jiu-jitsu? Not necessary. I can go for a ride. I can get my bike. I can do some lifting. I can do some kettlebells, but I'm always exercising every single day. It's about the discipline. It's about the consistency. It's not about the ego down the road to get a medal. My medal is every day when I go to my bed, I said, I did what I committed to do. So that's my medal.
That is beautiful. I think back to Earl Nightingale, who was a motivational speaker I listened to on the radio growing up. And one of the statements he made when I was a young boy was, he said, it takes 10,000 hours at a minimum to become an expert. And then at the end of that 10,000 hours, you realize you're really just getting started. And I think you epitome that in the fact that you've got 40 years of daily getting better at who you are and what you do, so you can continue to up-level your game.
Definitely. And people understand the black belt as an achievement. A black belt is just the start of the journey. It's a funny story. I have a student that, he told me the story. A guy got a black belt under him and said, thanks, professor. I got you. Now I'm leaving to train a different martial arts because I mastered this martial art. And I said, wait, you didn't get it. It's all the way around.
Yeah.
Now you're able to understand the martial arts to reach the black belt. So now is a real training started, right? So
that's right.
Then you start pursuing that's where the journey starts.
Yeah.
Definitely, it's every single day, every single thing that you plant, it's every day you have to kind of, put some love and put some training in your life.
Absolutely. When I'm speaking to corporate America, or I'm doing training for a business, and the black belt story comes up, many of them will say, well, you're a black belt. You've arrived. And I go back and I tell a similar story. I said, no, the black belt was given by a senior instructor to a student who demonstrated they were now worthy of really being taught. And when you got the black belt, it was nothing more than a sign that you were a serious student, and the learning was just now to begin. And in the martial arts, there is no finish line. We're going to continue to learn and train and grow for the rest of our lives. So, Rodrigo Antunes, folks that are going to be coming to our camp, and they're going to have an opportunity to be in your class on Friday, what are you going to be teaching, and what are they going to learn?
Yeah, man, I'm so excited. I got so many new stuff that coming up. Mainly my goal, like also going to go to our event, is to kind of give tools to, martial arts in general for the beginning of the journey jiu-jitsu, especially self-defense. I'm not going to teach, crazy heel hooks or crazy submission aspects. It's just how they can go back on their feet and be able to perform their own martial arts, right? But of course, I have some surprises, some, nice tricks and some nice shortcuts that, they're going to, improve and generate, add value to your martial arts. I just spent 2 weeks in Brazil, and I trained so many, red belts and coral belts. And I'm, one of my questions was Grandmaster Alvaro Barreto, a red belt. And I told him, listen, what, he always told me that, hey, can you, help me out with some, I show him like, what I want to teach. And he kind of, hey, that's a good idea. Teach this here, or teach that way. So I'm bringing some stuff all the way from the top of the chain.
That's exciting.
From the great masters.
Well, one of the things I know about you, when you say you're bringing something that's a surprise and something unique and different, you always deliver. And that's one of the reasons we love to have you come back, is you bring a fresh perspective of a very unique martial arts background and apply that to everyday life. Yeah,
I'm so happy that I'm able to do that. And I'm so excited, to show that. Such a good group, and, such a, good people.
Well, thank you. So let me ask you this. You're coming back now for the third time. So you know the atmosphere, you know the environment. What is a reason someone that maybe is trying to decide, well, do I go to this camp thing or not? I don't know this organization that well. Is it worth my time and money to go attend? What would you say?
Oh, 100%, 100%. You know, so you expose so many, great martial artists. There's so many classes, going on. So you can get from, striking, ground, weapons, so you're gonna have exposure to so many good martial arts and martial artists. So sometimes you think that martial art doesn't, I never heard about this, but let me try this. And there may be something that you down the road, you might be able to kind of, go deep on that, you study that martial art. On top of that, there's so many social activities, the people, the interaction that we all do, through the camp, it's great. The staff is amazing, make us feel like home. It's such a great group. All of the accommodations are great. There's always, in a good space, open space, a nice, set off in a schedule that, you know exactly what you're gonna get. So sometimes I'm gonna skip this to rest, but I'm gonna do that one. So that's very organized that way. And also don't forget about your dinner, our, event on Saturday. It's great. It's great to see, it's like, young martial artists to, grandmasters all in the same room, share the vibe, share the energy. And, next year I want to bring my daughter as well. So she's going to feel that the energy, the vibe. So that's inspiring for young martial artists. It's very inspiring to see, everyone from, practitioners, the people that just started the journey through great masters in the same room. Man, it's a wow factor always. And again, you told me that I deliver some surprise. You always deliver a great event. I
Thank you,
wouldn't
sir.
I wouldn't miss as a instructor, and I wouldn't miss as a attendee.
Well, I'm excited to hear your daughter's coming next year. Next year will be our 25th anniversary as the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame. So it's going to be a really big event next year. And we're already putting together some surprises for next year. And we really want to make that an incredible event for everybody that's there. So going to be so honored to have her attending for the first time.
I'll be
So,
there. I
yeah.
was at the 20th. I was in 25 years ago. I'm
Mhm.
here again on the 25th, and I hope I'll be coming, all the time.
Oh, we'd love to have you. You're one of our regulars that we want to continue to bring back because you always bring something new, fresh, and original to what we have with the Hall of Fame. And that's what we're looking for. So, Rodrigo Antunes, as we wrap this up, is there anything else that you'd like to share? And maybe you give a shout out to those that are still on the fence and saying, do I go to Houston or not? Do I show up at the Marriott Westchase, pay the money, and go train? What would you like to say as we wrap this up today?
Man, that's don't miss it. If, like, as I told you before, like, if you just start your journey in martial arts, you're gonna get so inspired when you get there. You're gonna see so many good people, so many good instructors. You're gonna make friends for life. After every event, I come back with 50 different friends, and it got connected, through the year. I remember I was in Vegas. People saw that I was in Vegas for a competition on Instagram. Hey, professor, you come here, let's visit, let's have dinner, let's do this and that. So you create such a great community in there. So just think about the value of, inspiration, the social part. And man, I guarantee there's so many great instructors that maybe, that definitely going to add something to your game, right? So it's a technique or a position that done in a different way that, that add value. And again, for young practitioners all the way to seasoned instructors, is always gonna get good stuff, right? And we good people. That's what we're about, right? Right, doctor?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Well, Rodrigo Antunes, we are so looking forward to having you with us. Now, let me remind you, July 20, 21, 22, we are in Houston, Texas at the Marriott Westchase. You can register at the door. And if you can't make it Thursday, come Friday and Saturday. If you can't make it on Friday, you're going to miss Rodrigo Antunes' class. So make sure you're there for that. But then we also have classes on Saturday up until noon. We will take a break Saturday afternoon as they're flipping the room and getting it ready as Mr. Antunes shared for our incredible martial arts banquet, where we're going to be honoring some incredible men and women who have made a powerful difference in their local communities through sharing of martial arts. I'm Dr. John Terry, president of the United States Martial Arts Hall of Fame and CEO of the International Martial Arts Council of America. Thanks for joining me. Rodrigo and I will see you in Houston, July 20, 21, 22 at the Marriott Westchase. Be there or be square.